I'm about to teach you the 3-step process to never be nervous again before a game. Principle 1, reframe your goals. When you play, what's your goal? For most of us, it's to score a certain amount of goals or a certain amount of points. Chances are that type of goal is the reason why you're nervous before you play. External goals like this give you partial control but never full control over achieving them. You can dodge hard and you'll have a higher chance of scoring, but it's not guaranteed. Or you can have the best game of your life but still lose. That's why you're nervous. The uncertainty of achieving your goal makes you tense up, but you want to win and score goals, so what should you do? That brings us to our first principle, reframe your goals. John Wooden, one of the greatest coaches of all time, says it best. The hard struggle is to be welcome, never feared. In fact, when you define success this way, the only thing to fear is your unwillingness to make the full 100% effort to prepare and perform at the highest level of your ability. Said otherwise, if you wish to play the best team in the country every game, then the only thing to fear is the effort itself. As a defender, before I go to every game, I pray that my attackman will be the best player in the country on that day. When you think about it like that, it's not about winning or chasing stats, it's just about competing. If your only wish is for the greatest competitor, then the effort is the only thing to fear and be nervous about. So every practice and game, make hard work the goal, because you control it. If you fully buy into this, you'll never be nervous again, because you control the entire situation. It doesn't matter if you get blown out or have the worst game of your life, as long as you put in the full 100% effort. Once you start doing this, you'll realize how much external goals have been weighing down on you. Principle 2. Reenacting game-like situations. Everyone wants to play with confidence. When you have it, you feel like you're on top of the world, and when you don't, it's like your powers are taken away. Just by reframing your goals, your confidence will go through the roof. Still, there are other ways to improve it. That brings us to principle 2, reenacting game-like situations. Confidence is repetitions. Let me repeat that. Confidence is repetitions. The more you do something, the more confident at it you get. The more I pass with my left hand, the more confident I get. Defining confidence like this means that the more practice, the more confident you should be in games. Fortunately, it's not that simple. The issue is that practice and games are different. So while you may be confident in practice, you could be a total mess in games. To bridge this gap, you can do two things. Play more games or make practice more game realistic. Playing more games why veterans tend to play more confident. Unfortunately, you don't have much control over that. So making practice more game realistic is your only option. Whether you realize it or not, your coach already does this. Every drill that you compete in for punishment is reenacting a game situation. For example, whoever loses the ground ball drill has to do a gasser. The key is in the stakes. That's the difference between practicing and playing. Stakes. When playing, there's a lot on the line, but in practice, you could play awful and it wouldn't matter all that much. So to level the playing field, you have to create stakes for yourself. For example, you could say, if I get beat in this practice, I have to run a mile later. Or if I don't score in this drill, I have to do a gasser after practice. Those internal stakes make your heart race because something is on the line. The larger you make the stakes, the closer it becomes to game-like scenarios. To make this work, you have to follow through with the punishment or else it's all worthless. Stakes are the main part of this practice, but practicing with game-like drills is just as important. So many players waste hundreds of hours on drills that don't translate to the field. That's why the G League Blueprint is so successful. It's a weekly lacrosse training plan where every drill is designed specifically to translate onto the field, so you don't waste any of your time. All you have to do is follow the plan and watch as your stats skyrocket. Get the G League Blueprint at the link in the description. Principle 3, backwards law. Let me know if this sounds familiar. You're warming up for a game and you start to feel a little bit nervous. To try and fix it, you tell yourself that you're not nervous and that you're the best lacrosse player in the world. This just makes you more nervous and causes you to keep telling yourself you're not nervous. Now you're lying to yourself and you're a mental hot mess. You can cure this by something called the backwards law. Some problems are best solved by not trying to solve them in the first place. For example, the more you try to be liked, the less people will actually like you. Most problems like this are internal, and when we try to fix them, we make it worse. We tend to get in our own heads and create a positive feedback loop. When nerves arrive, don't try to push them away. Instead, sit there and examine the feeling. I don't want you to label it as good or bad. Just see the situation as it is. By doing this, you aren't trying to push the nerves away, you're just examining them. The feeling of nerves now isn't a bad thing because you aren't trying to get rid of it. The best part about this is the feeling of nerves almost always fades as a byproduct. This takes practice and is a skill just like lacrosse. But the more you do it, the better you'll get, and nerves will never control you again. Those are the 3 bulletproof strategies to kill your nerves. If you want them to work, you can't just think about them. You actually have to apply them every time you play. The first couple times using these strategies, they won't do much, and that's okay. But if you stick with it, you'll slowly get better and your mindset will be completely shifted. But the real key to getting better as a lacrosse player is your training. If you're not following a structured regimen, you're dead to start. That's why I created the G League Blueprint. It's a structured training plan that gives you the exact drills and reps to be the best player on the field. All you have to do is wake up and follow the plan and watch as you become a completely different lacrosse player. Get the G League Blueprint on screen or in the description below. Thank you so much for watching.